You won't believe the secrets behind this whole thing. At this moment, Jiang's hotel reservation has surfaced, but the check-in time doesn't match the footage of the car. This entire process feels just like being in a movie, and incredibly, just like in those films. It's all centered around the untold grove pursuit of money. So what should I do? Head to the lounge, and while I'm at it, check out the nearby CCTV. There's plenty to see. Inside, we might uncover more secrets. After careful analysis, we'll talk deeply with Zhu Langxi, Jiang's wife, but she didn't notice anything odd. Discussing her late grandmother and sister, she showed no sorrow, but mentioned no room. Her expression soured. What's amusing is her indifference to her husband's death inquiry, no normal emotion. Psychological analysis gradually unveils Zhu Langxi's complex past. She lost her grandmother and sister in a house fire at the teen and remained as calm as a philosopher. This experience made her see death differently than most. This not only explains her bizarre behavior when facing her husband's death, but also hints that she might have known about lime mining all along. She must have heard that name from her husband, who would guess Jiang bought an apartment for lime mining. By the way, how much would that apartment lime mining gave me be worth today? I can't help but wonder. I was still complaining about this back when I was newly married. That was the first time I heard lime mining's name. Besides that, has lime mining ever mentioned any changes happening? Actually, it's really not a big deal, but aren't you just a little curious about the deceased story? Did you hear your husband's story? Is lime mining dead? Nope, the cops just told me yesterday. Really? Han Zhan dropped by to ask Jiang where he was on the day of the incident. Lime Mining recalled he left the store around 11:30 am and didn't return until 7 p.m, and he was with 3 friends who golfed, and that night he lost control, causing havoc at the bar and throwing bottles against the wall. Definitely not his first rodeo. The following night around 9, he called a ride, just to avoid leaving any records. The case turned into a deadlock, so the police decided to dig into his social relationships. Meanwhile, Jiang's wife claimed to be very independent and disliked company, even having separate rooms since they got married. This psychological distance reflects the long-standing gap between them, and Han Zhan continued tracking and verifying Jiang's whereabouts. Despite his wife repeatedly insisting he didn't come home that night, the ride driver claimed he dropped Jiang off at his door and even took photos. This clue gave Han Zhan a hunch something was off, leading her to share her suspicions. Usually, women kill for money, domestic abuse, or affairs, but Jiang's wife seems to have none of those motives. After her husband's disappearance, she showed no emotion, even indifference to his death. Surprisingly, recalling childhood with grandma and sister, her face remained expressionless. But mentioning not having her own room as a child, she showed sadness and even anger, hinting at hidden psychological issues. She craved control over her space and independence, so the police decided to summon her for another interview to find new discoveries. She remained eerily calm. When critical evidence emerged, she tried to deflect by saying she was too busy. Eventually, she admitted dating multiple men, including a tennis coach, who she broke up with a month ago. She once asked if I could accept that coach, saying if it's not a problem, maybe we should meet. Han Zhan swiftly found the coach, who casually claimed a fling with Zhu Langxi, saying it's just for fun. Notably, his hand wasn't injured despite his sister's tennis fall. The police remained suspicious. After all, he admitted Zhu Langxi hinted at him taking up that space if her husband were no longer around. Digging deeper, police uncovered more secrets. Zhu Langxi and the coach were high school classmates. A year ago, the coach joined the tennis club, and the two reconnected, while financial investigations showed Jiang didn't take out any life insurance. Despite her debts, she owned assets worth hundreds of millions, with monthly shop profits reaching 20 to 30 million. If Jiang died, Zhu Langxi would inherit it all. Now that's a clear motive. And oh boy, that must have been terrifying because Jiang recently found out about the relationship. I think so too. If she killed Jiang, would she notify the online authorities to make him come running? Did you hear that, Chairman? Can you push him to the review segment in the build-up? We've already said she's lying. This might not be straightforward, it could be a trap. This appears to be an endlessly alternating trap, resembling some sort of elaborate scheme. So, we should gather all the characters together to truly reveal the criminal's nature. You must be quite familiar with disguise, Jiang. So, who's more vulnerable? Who will be the first to spill the beans? All police were called to the station. During questioning, the coach said students knew her family background. She said her parents died early, raised by grandmother and sister. But when Han Zhan asked about the deaths, the tennis coach's wife said only Zhu Langxi was injured in the fire. The fire's arsonist is still unknown. Shockingly, the 10-year-old Zhu Langxi faced no suspicion, garnering sympathy instead. Neighbors once suspected a 15-year-old as the arsonist, but he's vanished. You really should know what this is, shouldn't you? In the next room, Zhu Langxi and I were chatting up a storm, creating an incredibly lively atmosphere. Is it true? Are you indeed the one who has committed those crimes over the past 10 years? Yes, it's true. But I don't like where this is heading. Coincidentally, the bag discovered this time is identical to the one found 3 months ago. It even contained a card. So, where's that bag now? I've already told you about it. So can I go home now? Should I remind him that staying here might be safer?